Imagine if you had $60,000 burning a hole in your pocket and you were looking for a luxurious crossover. I've got two cars that don't necessarily compete, but make for a fun, patent-pending TFL car mashup. Would you go for on-road performance or off-road capability? Would you go for German engineering or Japanese luxury? That is coming up next on the Fast Lane Car. The Audi and the Lexus, of course, don't directly compete. You know that, and we know that. The Audi is a crossover, it seats 5, and it's supercharged. On the other hand, the Lexus is more of a traditional body-on-frame SUV. It seats 7, and it's much more off-road capable. But that's what makes a TFL mashup so much fun, taking apples to oranges and comparing the two and seeing how they're different. Style-wise, the Audi is starting to look a little bit old and dated. What was once fresh and new is becoming a little bit of a cliche. For instance, these silver S-line mirrors. However, I do like the general look, even though it feels a little bit like a gray jelly bean. There is one part that's in the back that is especially cool. Let me show you that next. Check it out. I love these 4 tailpipes. There's actually a butterfly valve on the inside one that opens up when you really put your pedal to the metal. And I also like the fact that, unlike most cars in this class, these taillights are built into the tailgate so that when you open up the tailgate, the taillights go up with it instead of being over here. And of course, on the inside of the Audi, you have a fair amount of space. Do I fit? Yes, indeed, and I'm sure Nathan would as well. For 2014, they've upgraded the Lexus with that new spindle grille. To my eyes, of course, it looks like it's just drank a little bit too much tart lemonade. There's a little bit of a pucker factor to it. This Lexus is built on the same frame as the Toyota 4Runner and is on the European Prado, which makes it extremely off-road worthy. But we've driven this off-road, so today it's all about on-road prowess. Under the hood, you got a ruddy big Japanese V8. A traditional 4.6 liters, 301 horsepower, 329 pound-foot of torque, powering all 4 wheels through full-time 4-wheel drive. That's what Lexus says. It also has air suspension. That's a lot of goodies for $60,000. Under the Audi's hood, you get 2 less cylinders, but 1 more supercharger. This 3-liter is very powerful and very fast, putting out 354 horsepower, 347 pound-foot of torque. Of course, it's got quattro, and it's got an 8-speed transmission, so 2 less cylinders, 2 more gears, but 1 more supercharger. Which one do you think is faster from 0 to 60? That's, you know the answer. Inside, the Audi is all schwarz, or black for all of you who speak English. More importantly, it's all business in here. Everything that you feel and touch is, of course, expensive, including this really nice fat steering wheel with the flat bottom. So in case you need to take this car out on a racetrack, you can get in and out easily, I suspect. More importantly, the Audi inside is starting to get a little bit dated. The screen is a little too small, at least compared to the Lexus, and some of these controls just don't feel up to the same level of perfection that you'll find in the Lexus. Inside the Lexus, everything you touch is expensive, soft, and smooth. Of course, the passionate pursuit of perfection is best expressed by a classic Lexus interior, but I have to say, I'm getting a little tired of this wooden steering wheel. It feels a little bit 1990-ish. Lexus, come on, you guys can do better. Think of something new that you can make your own signature. Maybe a titanium steering wheel. The wood, that is so 1990s. From a utility standpoint, there's no doubt the Lexus is a better vehicle. Check this out. You can open up this rear glass if you want to throw something in quickly, or if you have to, you can swing open this massive tailgate and get anything you want back here, including an extra 2 people, because there are seats back here for that time when you have to get the rest of the soccer team in the car, when you're not busy cruising the parking lots of your local Nordstroms. Now keep in mind that this Lexus is 5,200 pounds, and you can feel every one of those pounds. I mean, it's a great vehicle, and I can see myself driving around the world in, because we have taken this off-road, and we've done so on a pretty rough off-road course in the snow, and it was wonderful. It was completely unstoppable. On the road, it's a different story. There's a lot of mass behind you, and you can feel it. I mean, it's certainly almost the exact opposite of the Audi. While the Audi is light on its toes, this thing is just the earth destroyer. When you put your foot in it, that's when this car shines. It feels a lot smaller. Of course, it is a lot smaller. It feels a lot nimbler. That's because it is a lot nimbler. And while it may not have air suspension, it has a much more well sorted in some ways. Certainly fun to drive ride. I mean, going around these corners, I feel like I could be going easily triple digits and still feel comfortable. And that's really where the Audi excels. It's not going to win the utility battle. It certainly doesn't win the luxury battle, but it does win the fun to drive battle. You know, the limiter cuts all the fun at about 3,500 RPM, so you get this kind of sound that I assume is sort of like, a rhino holding back a fart. You know, I've never heard a rhino hold back a fart, but I imagine it would sound just like that. Alright guys, I'm a mile above sea level. I've got it in sport mode, climate control is off, and I'm going to see if I can break in to the 5s. That's the question. Here we go, a little bit of brake torque, and there it goes! Remember, 5.7-ish was the S5, and there is 60. Oh, who would have thunk? Check it out. All right, 0 to 60 at a mile above sea level. The Audi went just a tick over 5.7. So let's see if this car is any faster or slower. You know what the answer to that is, don't you? It's going to be slower, of course, just because it's heavier and it's got less horsepower. So here we go. I've got it in sport mode, and I'm going to say this is about a 9-second car up here. At sea level, it would be about a second faster. So here we go. I'm going to give it a little bit of torque and just let go. Nice start. Oh, there's the power band. Come on, Lexus. You can do it. And here comes 60. Oh, look at there. Check it out, guys. 9.75. So in fact, a full 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 seconds slower than the Audi. Yeah, I mean, what'd you expect? It's heavier, it's bigger, it's got less power, and it has more bells and whistles in a lot of ways. Air suspension does add a lot to a vehicle's overall weight. It does fun to drive and a European sporty car demeanor trump Japanese stylish perfection. In my book, yes it does, but there are a lot of people out there who will be just as won over and just as charmed by the quality, the quietness, and the road-going all-road going ability of the Lexus. They're very different. Odd couple is indeed a good way to look at these two vehicles. The Audi and the Lexus, of course, don't directly compete. You know that, and we know that. The Audi is a crossover, it seats 5, and it's supercharged. On the other hand, the Lexus is more of a traditional body-on-frame SUV. It seats 7, and it's much more off-road capable. But that's what makes a TFL mashup so much fun, taking apples to oranges and comparing the two and seeing how they're different. I guess the question I would ask myself is, you're going to spend $60,000+ for this Lexus, why not just get the 4Runner? It's a lot cheaper, it has almost everything. Of course, you don't have probably this much sound deadening, and you don't have such nice leather, and you don't have the wooden steering wheel, but in terms of kind of road capability, it's very similar, and it's a lot less expensive. Here we go, one more time. All right, I've got it floored. It's in sport mode. There's the power band. You can really feel the weight. There we have it, 60. And that was actually slower. So 10.24. So we're gonna go with the 9.75 because that's better. And let's face it, this car is not about flying around corners. Whoa. We're negotiating canyons. It's really about the luxury and the comfort of having a 7-passenger vehicle that can take you skiing in the winter and keep your family safe and sound.